during the talks. Thanks.
Testing. I hope this is working. I'm not convinced that it is. Welcome. Thank you all for turning out early on a Sunday morning. It is the great privilege and honor of my career to have edited I Regret Almost Everything, which I hope you will buy from Bunch of Grapes after. And congratulations, Keith, on New York Times bestsellerdom. It's a big, very big deal. So let's dive right in. Do you think you would have written a memoir if you had not had a stroke?
I'm not sure, but it wasn't just the stroke. It was none of bad things happened at the same time. I had a stroke. Two of my restaurants closed, and my wife left me. And there's when you're sensitive like I was, I suppose it got to me too much. One day I saw my two small children playing. I knew I could never join in, so I decided to kill myself. Instead of killing other people, I decided to do that. Actually, today is the anniversary. 7 days, years ago today, August 3rd, I tried to commit suicide. So the day was a happy day for me. So basically, I tried to commit suicide. My son found me in the morning, luckily because he woke up early. And so the ambulance was called, and 14 hours later, I woke up to Martha Vineyard General Hospital. And you probably know this, but in America, if you ever decide to kill yourself, you must only leave if you go to the psychiatric hospital. So I ended up spending 9 weeks at McLean Hospital, Looney Bin. And so there I sort of 4 sessions, 5 sessions a day of therapy. And I started to write the book. So to answer your question more briefly, I don't know.
Well, if you had never had the stroke and never ended up in the loony bin, do you think the book would have the same title if you'd written a memoir?
No, but you came up with the title, so I'm indebted to you forever. So I think most of the reason why the book sells at all is because of the title.
They're your words. They're your words. And as many of you know, the reviews for I Regret Almost Everything have been absolutely glorious. It's been called beautifully written, extremely moving, sharply entertaining, a revelation, addictive, unforgettable, striking, charming, and compelling, with the sense of humor that's essential along the way. And my personal favorite, from the writer Bill Buford, a frickin' masterpiece.
No, I'm not true, but I don't actually like the book. I'm not being funny. I'm rewriting the book right now because, as you know, I didn't want to hand it in. I actually, for 2 months, Aimee said you can't have it. So she made a compromise. She said you can rewrite the book for the paperback.
Trade paperback. You'll have to buy that too to see all the changes.
I cringe at a lot. Every page I cringe at. I don't know everybody will write about the lives cringe at the words, but I do.
And I know this. You are your own worst critic, but I confess to not being entirely surprised by glowing reviews from book critics. It's a beautifully written book. But I'm really blown away by the ongoing, overwhelming, emotional, and passionate response from readers. 3 months after publication, this freaking masterpiece is still selling like hotcakes due to good old-fashioned word of mouth. Instagram is rife with posts of your book at the beach, poolside, and on planes all over the world. You have received countless emails and messages from not only friends but also strangers declaring their love for I Regret Almost Everything. Are you surprised by this intense reaction?
Yes.
What aspect of your story do you think it is that most draws readers in and inspires them so?
I can't answer that. I don't know. It's got many aspects. The thing I really like is how many young people write to me, and I like the book. But I think when I was younger, I really wanted the approval.
The approval.
Over the people. But now that I'm much older, I wanted the approval of the young people. It's so funny.
That makes sense. It's interesting to me that so many of your employees at your restaurants stick around for many, many years.
Those fortunes.
But one interesting Instagram thing I've noticed is there are obviously hundreds of people who used to work at your restaurants, and they're all reading this and weighing in and really moved by it.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Okay, is there anything that we cut from the pages that you wish we had not cut?
Yeah, I think you know the part about the journalist more than Dowd. I think he forced me to cut it. I wish I hadn't, but I don't know about that. I wish I had written more about Monica Lewinsky.
Monica Lewinsky? More about Woody Allen?
Yes.
More controversy. Great. Is there any story in the book you wish you had not included?
No.
Very happy with all of it. Now, before we started working together on the manuscript, you dispatched me to see the documentary Turn Every Page about the writer-editor relationship between Robert Caro and Robert Gottlieb. Do you see any parallels in the way we worked?
I think post-film would be presumptuous to see any parallels. But I really liked them both. This interesting documentary. I haven't got a handbag collection.
Not yet.
Yeah, no, yet. But it explained that for the audience, explain the reference.
So, Robert Gottlieb, the very distinguished editor of The New Yorker, editor of Knopf, he perhaps peculiarly was famous for having an esoteric handbag collection. And it was displayed in the documentary. And it is one of the things you're like, okay.
But it's a great documentary. I would recommend it to everybody.
Yeah, it's well worth watching. A lot of insights. I mean, it's sort of the most intense editor-writer relationship in the history of book publishing. So if we can even achieve a little amount of that, we worked very intensely on this book for 3 years, and we cared about every comma, and as they did in that documentary, every semicolon.
The most important thing, Aimee would arrive at 9 o'clock was a latte for me. Latte.
I miss bringing you lattes. We'll have to come up with a sequel. And I know you despise the question, what's next, but would you ever consider, I know from our standpoint, our publisher would love you to write a book of essays and weigh in on any subject.
I'm writing and playing right now.
You're writing a play. And what is this, may we ask?
No.
Okay. Stay tuned, everyone. And what would you say, do you have a favorite chapter in the book or a favorite section?
Ones I don't like more. Probably the one where I've traveled to Kathmandu, India. I really like the story about the man on the train in India who lost his money and lost his soul. So I had an image of the train disappearing into night and this man on the tracks.
It's a haunting story. It's actually the story that made me want to publish this book when it came in with the proposal of Keith's travels to Nepal and across India and train rides and happenstance and the things that happen along the way. And I think one of the surprising things in this book is people come into it thinking we are going to hear about gourmet meals and caviar, and instead you hear about really great sandwiches, especially one here on the island at Humphreys, sadly closed, a roast turkey sandwich, a Branston pickle sandwich, and I think, is there a roast beef one?
Yeah.
Roast beef, and then a lamb sandwich. So what would be your last meal, to ask a cliche question?
I don't know.
But you specifically left out a lot of the.
The chapter I also like a lot, but not because we're here, but it's when 1976, I came to the vineyard for the first time, and I actually stayed in the beach one night and the youth hostel at another night, and got to fall in love with the island at the time. I was alone on a bicycle cycling around the island for 2 days. It was glorious.
That's well worth reading, and I mean the whole book is, of course. But if you live here, don't miss that chapter. And there's a lot of history there. It was Deaf Utopia, and the Wampanoag Indians, and I've been here many times and learned a lot that I had not heard about before. I also think when you get to Soho, that's a really special moment in time, historical, not to be repeated kind of moment in history. And now we have to hear about your least favorite chapter.
Most least effective, maybe Cafe Luxembourg.
Cafe Luxembourg.
But you forced me to write more about the restaurant that I really wanted to.
It was prying it out of you to get you to mention Morandi and even Minetta Tavern for a while.
I didn't want to write about restaurant or food. I know that that's a little bit pretentious, but I really wanted to stay away from that. Because everybody writes about food and everybody writes about restaurants.
I think one other surprising aspect of your book is how many books are mentioned incidentally, and we put together a little reading list of all the books mentioned. And have you reread any since?
A lot. Half the books I reread. I reread The Spy Who Came into the Cold the other month, but there were other week. I really didn't realise how great a book it is. Not just surprised book. It's slightly existential. I think it's the best book you've ever read.
John le Carré, The Spy Who Came In From the Cold. There's your next summer reading list book. In these perilous times we are living in, politically, do you have any book recommendations to transport us from the darkness?
Again, I feel presumptuous to mention other books to the audience because they're probably much more literate than I am.
I don't know about that. I don't see how you could come more literate than you are. And your libraries are extraordinary. Have you ever... Anytime I asked Keith about a book, or we had mentioned a book, and he said the person had signed it to him, he could find it in these elaborately large libraries, large collections. And do you have it all in your mind?
Yeah.
Do you organize your books in any particular fashion?
No.
Just no rainbow bookshelves for you. No. Let's see. What else? Is there anything you want to express to the audience about the experience of writing your book, other than he wrote it with one hand?
In one hand, but I have to learn to write with my left hand. So because I'm naturally right-handed. So I write almost probably more than 1 million words with my left hand.
A left-handed 1 million words.
If there's any prize book written with one hand, I'm sure I'm going to be short-lived. So.
Yeah. You heard it here first at the Martha's Vineyard Book Festival. And let's see, there've been some scandals with the book because we had a different UK libel laws are much stricter than US. So we had to make changes. That's a different edition.
You refer to the chapter with Julia Anderson.
Yeah, exactly. You heard it here. This is our hot reveal of the Martha's Vineyard Book Festival. X, and there's been a bit of a guessing game online about who this person is.
Because I once spent the weekend with a famous actress which had sex a lot this weekend, and in the end I didn't want to see her. But it turned out I saw her again a year later, which she was with her boyfriend, and I really fancied her more. Whether it was just because she had a boyfriend, I didn't know. But I ended up making a complete fool of myself. So, I read the chapter.
And none of the online guesses, shockingly, have come close.
No.
Been a lot of Shannon Doherty. I was like, no.
The ex is Gillian Anderson.
And I didn't even realize it because I'd never seen the show X-Files.
Even
though, she sent you the tapes, but you did not watch them. It was... So I didn't realize, she said we had to run it by her, that including the chapter, and for the UK, and she said, just make sure there are no identifying details, such as red hair. Great. That was never in there. And then he calls her X, and it did not dawn on me until the book was actually printed and in hand that was a little X-Files reference. Whoops. But the English tabloids are much more interested than our own press. They just want to know where they can get more French fries. Let's see, I think, where's my 10? We are accepting questions from the audience now. Ask us anything. Sir. Yep.
Oh, wait, hold on. If you have a question, can you just come over here to the microphone? Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. So.
Here you go.
Okay, thank you so much, Keith. This is from my husband, who really wanted to be here but could not make it. Sorry I couldn't be here, but I have not had the opportunity to speak with any other stroke survivors, which is something I have wanted to do because it's such a unique but also common experience that afflicts so many. So I'll have Aimee, ask you this question. Given the neurological trauma, brain damage, and suffering that you experienced from your stroke, what benefits did you ultimately receive, and what... Sorry, my phone flipped out. And what benefits did you ultimately receive, and what did you learn from the experience? Thank you.
One benefit, it brought me one benefit, it brought me closer to my kids, my grandchildren. Not much else. It's all no. You get a table quite easily in restaurants. Parking. No, that's about it. Other than that, it was all bad. No, one other good thing. Because when I read things, I enjoy reading much more now. I read solo, but things mean so much more to me. And also, on the other hand, I haven't time for other things. If I have the time, I don't spend small talk. I like to get to score the things quickly, but I do take more pleasure in some of the things. Yes, I do. Small things, especially small things. If I like doormen open the door for me, it means a lot to me. I know it sounds silly, but small things mean a lot to me.
You mentioned about the small gestures.
Yeah,
kindness.
Unsolicited gestures. What
right.
was the second part of the question? What is
The second part of the question.
Oh, just
the Yeah, experience yeah, that you yeah, did, yeah. That was it. Oh, it's all some things good, but most of them bad. you,
Come on up.
Could you come up to the microphone, please? Thank you.
I don't know that you'll like this question.
it sounds great already.
Graydon Carter is going
I
to be
don't like him. No, no, I'm joking.
That's not the question. Graydon Carter is going to be here later, and I was just wondering, do you think he will remember his old days from Spy magazine, and roasting Donald Trump, or is he just a celebrity guy by now?
I don't know when it was. He and me were working with.
He continued to roast Donald Trump well into not only Vanity Fair days, but into his airmail days now. He's still chief short-fingered vulgarian nemesis.
Those are spy.
No, it's just the same.
It's the same.
It's mentioned in the book. If you read it's a book.
No.
And we read it because
I'm going to read your book.
No, but it's really, really good. It's true. But probably might be better at the moment. But if you mentioned John Trump, it's really funny.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
He still holds him in great contempt, I assure you.
Well, first of all, I want to thank you because you are the first book I've been reading with some more focus, enjoyment in the English language since my open heart surgery. And I find it extremely well constructed and something that has not been mentioned in the comment and the glorious review. There is elegance in sentiment when you speak about your family, and it's very touching. You are my contemporary, and I'm like you, an immigrant, and I find the way you look at the U.S. and your journey extremely moving. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure to hear you speak. I had two questions. One is, do you see yourself as an artist? And the second is, what haven't you done that you're looking forward to doing?
No, I've never seen myself as an artist. But the second answer might contradict the first answer. I would like to write a play, get on with more of my kids. I've got 5 kids. One doesn't talk to me right now. I'm going to make sure he does before I'm going to kill him or I'll die.
Thank you. And I worked at Balthazar so many years ago, but I was like, oh my gosh, so it's a pleasure.
What did you do?
I was in the bakery, but I was in college and had the morning shift. And
lovely.
It was lovely to be there, so thank you.
It's a great alumni association, your former employees. Anyone else?
Yeah, hi. I just want to know, as a New York City restaurateur, do you still engage in day-to-day operations at all?
Yeah, I do.
What's your favorite parts that you still...
Talking to myself in meetings. I'm gossiping myself at the end of the meeting. We talk about the customers at the end of the night. Other than that, it's so difficult, the restaurant business.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want anybody to be in the business.
Do you still analyze numbers and do that, or do you
No,
None of that?
never did.
Never did?
Okay.
I can't wait to read the book. Thanks.
Morning. Thank you. I'm just wondering if you have any thoughts about the current state of restaurants and food in the United States these days.
No. I can't barely have to read in my morning. I can't think about big pictures. I've got so many issues about Shazar and the other restaurants. I can't think about the whole thing. I'm a small person. I could think about small things.
Thank you.
All right, well, thanks everybody for coming out so early on a Sunday morning. Keith will be stamping books in the blue tent behind us. Come see us there. Thank you.